Hey folks, T's Daily, I'm back with you again. Thanks for joining me. Putting together a video, had a request that I thought I might try and respond to. Making patches from scratch with my Euro rack system. Looking at the Surge lineup and I guess the other modules I do have in the system to complement those, but I primarily use the Surge modules for most of the voicings, and majority of the other modules I have are just for like utility functions and sequencing, etc. You know, VCOs and sort of just sequencing and just shit like that, mixes and whatever. But I figured I'd just try and put something in context instead of just making a patch from scratch without much focus. I want to put a bit of context into doing this in the context of making music, and I've been working on this sort of ambient piece today. So I've got a few tracks laid down already in Bitwig, and I've used the modular for. I've used the modular already for one of the other tracks, and I want to underlay a sort of a bass drone kind of patch, and just fill out the sort of the composition more. With this sort of like an interesting sort of bass drone patch, but I want to use. I'm going to use the Renee from Make Noise that I have for some sort of tonal sort of sequencing, I suppose. It won't be like sequenced as such. I'm going to use the touch pads, I guess you'd call them, like for the stored voltages to sort of create different tones, different notes. So the crux of the patch will be really quite simple. I just want to draw on the Surge modules that I've demonstrated in previous videos and put them to use in this context of making music and keeping this patch really quite simple. Hopefully it will. Let's just show you how I can go about using them in that context. So we'll get down to it. I'm thinking the patch. We'll start with the oscillators, obviously, because we want to create a droning, ongoing sort of sound. So I'm going to start with the new timbre oscillators, and then I'm going to use the variable slope filter as a mixing utility, as it has two inputs. So I'm going to take the outputs from each of the oscillators, and I'm using the variable output in this case, and we're going to just patch those into the mixer, or the filter I should say, so they can be combined and filtered. From there I'm just going to patch it to a VCO, and I'm just thinking, because I haven't actually planned this out, I'm just sort of going off the cuff. I've got a general idea of where I'm going, but we'll take the output of the filter from the low pass output, and then we'll take that to the VCA on top of the wave multipliers up here. This input. From that, I'm going to go and feed that through the mid section of the wave multipliers for creating extra tonal, like harmonic, just sort of keep it interesting. We'll take the output from the wave folder. We're going to find a cable long enough. That's not long enough either. I've got one here somewhere. I've really got to set my rack cable hanger up. I have got one somewhere, I just haven't got a stand for it. So we'll take that output and patch that into the mixer for now. May adjust this patch dependent on how it sounds, I suppose, but we'll bring that. We're going to need to open the VCO, so just for now, we'll use that to open the VCO and the filter. I think we're dealing with frequencies that are a bit too high for what I've got in mind, so actually I've got a reference pitch. I'm going to patch it into the mixer to tune those oscillators. So it's coming from the Dixie, and we'll just use this balance knob and the filter to get each of these right. And we'll get them close together, just like a bit of beating going on between them. Obviously don't want them both perfectly aligned. Just open that waveform up to the source slightly so we get more harmonics. A bit easier to hear. So we've got that one going, and this one. And straight away now, like having the combination of those with different waveforms, we've got this very interesting kind of beating interaction going. And then we can use the filter cutoff, we can modulate that. We'll use some slope generators to do our modulation. Actually, we'll use them in cycle mode, but we don't want to slow them. I want to have quite slow modulation, so take the output from this side and patch that into the filter frequency modulation input. We'll give that a bit of attenuation, maybe a little slow. Try and dial this modulation. So now we're going to close that VCA down with the manual gain adjustment, and we're going to modulate the VCA and open and close it with another slope here. So let's just start with the main output on this side, and we'll patch that into the voltage control input. So now we can hear that VCA opening and closing, but we want to have a modulation that's quite a bit faster. Just want to make sure you can hear this. And we can modulate that wave folder as well, and to do that, I think I'm going to use the smoothness step generator. The step side, yeah, we'll take the end trigger of this slope into the sample input to trigger the step function, and we'll take the output back to the wave folder. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe taking the bandpass output from the filter into the variable Q filter and patching that into the wave folder as well from the bandpass output. Just thinking where I can get a modulation for this frequency control. Actually, maybe some audio rate modulation on that cutoff. Increase that gain a bit. I'm getting some very squelchy harmonic kind of sound happening there. Quite like that, so now we can what if I patch that in? Try that slope generator as bipolar output to the volt corrective input. Nah, it's a matter of trying things, but no, I'm gonna take the Renee voltage output now and take this out of snake mode for a start. So now we're just in the base mode of Renee. We don't want to send it gates. We want to patch this into use a stackable to mult the Renee output. Firstly, it's going to go to this oscillator, and to the second oscillator I'm going to introduce some slew with this portamento input. And now I can just manually use Renee to access different pitches. Just tune a few of these stages. Like that. I'm just going to use these 4 stages along the bottom. And now we've pretty much got the crux of the patch going. We're just going to basically finish it with some effects. So I've got the Magneto here from Strymon, and we're going to use that on a send and return bus from the hot glue mixer that I have. So patching the input and now the output back to the mixer, and we can bring the return level up. So now we've got some delays, and we're going to tap that tempo for, say, dotted eighths or 3/4 notes or something. And finally, I'm just going to introduce the big sky. I've got a nice big washy reverb just drench it in verb. And so there we have it. This is our patch, more or less. Let's just play through with the other sounds and so there we go. Hopefully that's giving you a bit of an idea on some sort of approach to drone patching, and yeah, I hope it's been interesting, useful. I welcome any comments, and ideas and anything else in the comments. And hope to see you in another video soon. Thanks for watching.